A very warm welcome to the Center Stage interview powered by International Directors Institute's Global Thought Leaders, an initiative by RightSource Global. Global Thought Leaders is a podium for leaders like you and I to exchange our ideas, thoughts, experiences, and grow together. I am your host, Dr. Madhulika Ketadi, and today we have with us Dr. Atul Ghate. Dr. Atul Ghate is an independent director certified by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and is a business transformation coach. He is a dynamic leader with over 3 decades of experience in both manufacturing and IT, and has a proven record of providing clients with useful advice pertaining to the business, specifically in their digital transformation journey. He is currently a senior vice president at Sidler Technologies Private Limited. So, Dr. Atul, you have over 3 decades of experience. So can you please describe your professional journey in a few lines?
So I'm basically mechanical engineer. Then I have done masters in, I have done MBA, and then I have done PhD in management. So basically a manufacturing engineer turned into a, management side. So half of my career, overall 3 decades, half of my career was in mechanical engineering industry and half of my career is into IT industry.
So that's really a great journey, Dr. Atul. You have worked both in manufacturing and IT industry. Where do you think manufacturing segment can be benefited by the IT?
So the manufacturing segment at their own, they're doing better by the virtue of the overall growth. But IT sector can complement manufacturing in many manners. So, for example, taking a sense of the competition, taking the cognizance of the data, doing some automation in day-to-day manufacturing practices. So, a lot of areas like this where IT can help manufacturing. So, for example, manufacturing is driven by targets, but are these targets really include the KPIs? So, if they are driven by KPI, key performance indicators, then where that information will come. So for that, a very strong IT backbone is required for any manufacturing company.
Now that you've already mentioned about the key performance indicators, what are the major key performance indicators in manufacturing industry in your opinion?
See, there are plenty based on what kind of manufacturing industry you are, your KPI change. But the important KPI which are perennial for any manufacturing industry, we can say, is cost of the product produced. One of the major KPI is part per million, the rejected parts per million. So this is very important. Then what is your inventory turnover? That is very, very important because inventory blocks a lot of your capital. That's why your inventory turnover is also very important. Cost of sales, cost of logistics, these are also very important KPIs from that perspective. So only manufacturing and controlling manufacturing cost is not sufficient. What are the peripheral costs that you have to track, like logistics or your all overheads, your indirect costs are on all. So those are the major KPIs in my view.
Thank you, Dr. Atul, for your wonderful insights on that. Moving on to the next one. Do you think the pain areas of manufacturing companies in SME segment and big manufacturing companies are same? If not, how do you define the pain areas in the SME segment?
Pain areas of SME segment is really, they have a lot of big dreams to come up and they have a lot of potential. But the pain area is basically competing with the world and going with the cutting edge. That is because all SME segment we know, right? The investment appetite is very less. So how do you make the automations? How do you understand the real competition in the market? What is the cutting technology edge? So these days we know, right? The technology, the life cycle of technology has shrunk drastically. So any disruptive technology come and then that puts you out of your competition. So this is really a pain area in SME segment, that what they are doing, they are good in what they do, but knowing competition where the technology is leading. Then understanding their past data, understanding their current data, and then predictions from the future is very much important. So some kind of data analytics, some kind of a data science is required in that field. Learning from the past is also required, which is a challenge in manufacturing industry. So making some directory of regular problems in with the machines, with any situations what they face. So making a directory or repository of that, what were the problem, what are the probable solution. That is the pain in SME segment right now.
Moving on to your next one, do you see any specific improvement areas for IT service companies, specifically in the implementation of transformation projects?
Yeah, so the IT companies, when you work with any domains, may it be finance, may it be healthcare, may it be manufacturing, some kind of domain knowledge is required. So the IT projects, for especially ERP projects, cannot be seen only as a IT project. Those are required to be seen as a business project. Then there is a possibility of success. The project manager is required to be equipped with that kind of a domain. The consultants or the solution architects should have some flavor of the domain in which you are working. So that kind of a sharpening of skill is very much important. Then the peripheral skill come. I mean, these days, as I say, I mean, the technology is improving day by day. So if you are equipped with some kind of technology 6 months back, maybe there are new innovations have come into your technology. So running with the pace, running with the current technology is very much important for IT companies also.
We're almost coming to the last couple of questions of your center stage, Dr. Atul. In your professional career, you have salvaged some project which were leading towards failure, right? So do you find any methodology in this process?
Very, very, very important question, Madhulika. So projects fail because of some reasons, right? And then those reasons are not analyzed very well, and the projects are either continued with the signs of failure, or they are left as it is. I mean, they're dropped off. But while doing some research, I observed that there is a methodology. So based on the research and based on my personal experience working into IT project implementation phase, I have come up with some methodology, which is very much proven. So first is understand what are the failures and what are the reasons of the failure. Unless you understand and analyze the reasons of the failure, you will not know why the project is failed. Then do the proper audit. Normally, the failure reasons are coming from the influencers of the project or stakeholders. That should not happen. A proper audit of the project should happen with equip people with relevant knowledge and relevant involvement in the project. That audit should happen. Then there is a trade-off. So project doesn't fail as it is with the same objective, same scope, same timeline. If you go ahead with same resources and project fail, there is most unlikely if that happens. So somewhere the project scope creep happens, or there is something where timeline is very aggressive. The stakeholders are very much demanding than required. So one or other reason. So you go through the reasons and do some trade-offs. Okay, so if we want to achieve a completion of this project in the given timeline, or maybe with the increased timeline, what is the trade-off we are giving? So that we have to do, and that is required to be negotiated. Every project has multiple objectives, and once project is failed and once you revive the project, that time it is important to trade off, and that trade off has to be negotiated with the stakeholders. So with the multiple objectives, say there are 20 objectives of the project, 20 different outcomes are required from the project or expected from the project. Say 5 can be traded off. So that should be well communicated with the trade all stakeholders, and then re-optimize or redefine the objectives of the project, and that is required to be well negotiated. And after that, restart the project, empower the project manager completely to take a decision, and the project manager should have some experience in reviving the project and then execute the project. So these are the few steps, or this can be overall a methodology of reviving the project.
Thank you, Dr. Atul, for your wonderful insights. It's really been very insightful. So your journey with RSG and International Directors Institute has been, over a few months now. And I think we want to understand what exactly are yours or your feedback for International Directors Institute's Right Source Global Initiative.
The journey was excellent. I mean, being in manufacturing and being in IT industry, the area of corporate governance, although it is part of my duty, roles and responsibility, it was a part. So when I did this course, the focus came on corporate governance and the related subject areas. So Independent Director Institute has crafted that course very well. They have enabled us. And what is the beauty of this is the Chakravyu sessions, which are organized by, or which are delivered by some of the stalwarts in this area. Those create a real picture what happens in the boardrooms with use cases and all that. So and finally the hand-holding while working with the ICI portal and all that. So all in all, this journey was very well and fulfilling.
Now that marks the end of the center stage interview, Dr. Atul. Thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you, and for sharing your thoughts and experiences with us. Thank you all for watching today's center stage with Dr. Atul Ghate. For more information on our initiatives at RightSource Global, please visit www.rightsource-global.com, and International Directors Institute requests you to follow both on Insta and on LinkedIn. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.